Welcome to Shout Out to the Exes, the podcast where we turn heartbreak into growth, pain into power, and every what if into a thank you. I'm Heather, and together we're diving into lessons that our past loves have left behind. Hey everyone, thank you so much for joining us for Shout Out to the Exes. I'm Heather, your certified heartbreak survivor and your host. I am so excited to have my friend Morgan on the show today. I'm going to give her a little bit of time to just briefly introduce herself, and then we're going to get into the nitty-gritty, how we actually met, which is also a funny story, how we really solidified, I would say, our friendship. And then all the craziness that we've been through and how I guess now we're like trauma bonded sisters. So we'll get to it, but I'm going to pass it on over to her, let her introduce herself, and we'll get right in.
All right. I am Morgan. Sorry for the look. I came from Solid Core and I heard we were spilling the tea. So, had to go try to get my free hoodie that's not free and skirt on over here. So don't mind me acting like a 5-year-old eating my snacks. I adore Heather. So the second she said, hey, we need to do this, I'm here to spill the tea and I'm leaving nothing for the.
No, you shouldn't.
One of those, if you know, you know, and I'm not sorry for it.
Absolutely. And yeah, we talked about that, I think, the other day where I'm like, listen, if you're not man enough to tell your side of the story, then the story that's going to go out is our story. So that's like a huge thing for me is like, if you're going to ghost or you're going to disappear and you don't have the balls to tell your side, this is the side you're about to get. But I think it's the first thing that we should definitely start on is like how we met. So
Oh my God.
I actually met Morgan through a mutual, I guess, ex friend now. I'm not really sure if you're friends with her anymore. Like, I'm cool with her. I guess we're not friends, but we're not like, I'm not an enemy with her. But we met through a girl named and how that kind of started was Morgan was dished like a bunch of shit about me about how like terrible of a person I is and how I was a man stealer, which if you know me, that's not me.
But you missed the best part of that. I actually only knew because I dated her brother.
Yes. I didn't want to throw your part out there, like your story, but like, which we'll get into later because that's another crazy thing. Like I think the two relationships we're going to talk about mostly with Morgan is like insane, but we met, she was telling me, I was like telling Morgan I'm this man stealer and I did all this stuff in Savannah, which was hilarious because it's like I had receipts that everything she was saying was actually her doing the action, not me doing the action. And I had like multiple witnesses be like, what the fuck is going on? So like that's a whole story. Like, but that was hilarious. And then
Introduced you. She's telling me all these awful things about you. And then she was like, oh my gosh, she's moving to Atlanta. I was acting so excited. And so I had just moved back to Atlanta from a story we'll get into. I had broken up with a man, moved back to the state of Georgia. And so I was in the process of meeting new people and rekindling friendships. I was like excited to meet this girl. I was like, okay, but I was like, wait, you just told me all these awful things about her. She invites Heather to my house for a pool day. And I'm sitting here with my best friend, Ruth. And we're like, this girl doesn't even like her. I'm so confused. Then Kenzie goes and takes a nap and leaves Heather in the living room with us. And we're just like, what? And I was like, all of a sudden she yacked and I yacked back and we became friends.
Yeah. And what was crazy is like I spent the night at your place. You weren't there the weekend I moved to Atlanta because I was moving in with the 3 guys, which like it's not like that, y'all. I was literally Jess from New Girl. It was I can't even like picture a perfect situation to represent that moment because that's what it was. Like the sweetest, nerdiest, loveliest men ever that I lived with, like not creepy at all. Like I was obsessed with them. But anyway, and then so Morgan and I became friends through that. We talked. She spilled the tea about how, like, listen, this is what she's been saying about you. And I'm like, what? Like, that never happened. Like, I was, yeah, baffled. So then I think it was like probably a week or 2 later. If you know me, you know I am a sports girly. If I am taken to a bar, no matter what game is on TV, it could be freaking cricket. I am at the bar watching whatever sports is on. And so I had a little baseballer slide into the DMs. Yep, he slid into those DMs and was like, and his name was perfect. I'm not gonna say his name. Like, I have no hate towards this guy. I think he's sweet. He's awesome. He was great to us. But he had, let's just say, he had the perfect baseball name, like the perfect baseball name.
Oh my
So
God.
I was like, you know what? I'm gonna call Morgan because she's a down girl. Like, she will do anything I ask. Like, she's gonna be down to do it if she's
That was
available.
the plot. And let's be honest, I was a cleat chaser in my college days. I won't even pretend.
Yes. So I'm like, hey, I got invited to this minor league baseball game, the Gwinnett Stripers. I want to call them the strippers so bad. It's like a mental thing. It's so hard for me. And I call them like, hey, I got invited to this game. Like, do you want to come with me? And she was like, yeah, absolutely. So we go to this game and we meet up with the player afterwards. And like he goes, do you guys want to go out? And I was like, well, I'm trying to like help out my friend too. I'm like, well, are any of your guy friends single? And he was like, well, no, it would just be like us three. And I looked at Morgan, she's like, whatever, like, let's go.
Queen of
So
the third wheel. I don't
we go.
care. I'm already here. You drove me. I'm like, that's a 45-minute Uber. No, I'll go.
Yeah. So we end up going to Top Golf and like he treats us well. Like he
That's a
pays for,
bottle of wine.
yeah, he pays for everything. He bought our Top Golf, he bought our drinks, he took us for pizza after. And then one thing led to the other. We ended up back at the apartment. It was Guys, get it out of your head. It was not what you're thinking. It was not that special threesome moment. It was a Morgan being a down ass bitch and being like, I'm gonna hang out on the couch. You do you,
I wasn't
boo.
even a couch, girl. That was like a pre-furnished apartment that you would see in like a uncomfortable leather futon that you would expect to see in like a frat basement. Truly.
Yeah.
Shout out
Yeah.
though, because I did get this hoodie out of it.
Yes. But she was down for it. She was like, all right, let's do it. So one thing leads to another. Mom and dad, I'm sorry, whatever. And I was still like, this was still, I think, only like maybe a year and a half after my divorce. So like I was still like having fun, living my best girl life. And I remember like clear as day, I woke up and it was like 5 o'clock in the morning. And I'm like, oh no. Oh no, I fell asleep. Like I am like, oh no, I don't want to give this man the wrong idea. Like I fell asleep, like this isn't happening. I wake up, I literally do like one of these where I like sneak out of the bed. I walk out and Morgan's on the couch passed out. And I'm like, Morgan, we gotta go.
That scared the crap out of me because I'm in this person's house, in this guy's apartment. Don't know them. He has a roommate allegedly. I don't think we ever discovered if the
No,
roommate
his lights were
was
just
home or
always
not.
on.
So I have no idea. And I'm like, who is tapping me? What the heck? Groggy, fresh, waking up. And I was like, oh, it's Heather. And this woman goes, we're running. Not even I didn't even bat my eyes and go, running. All right, let's go. We're running. We're running. We get
So
to the
we
car.
literally
What happened?
We picked up everything. I left a sticky boob. Like I definitely left one there. And like and I'm like, Shh, I dropped it. I was like, it's too late now. We gotta go. And we literally like dip out. Like I felt like such a man in that moment. Like I think that was like my boss bitch moment where I was like, hell yeah.
It was a true hump and dump.
Yeah, I was like, you know what? And it was nothing against him. He was great. Like it wasn't like that. It was just like I knew I wasn't going to try to give him the wrong idea of me like staying and like cuddling after. And then also realizing your friend that you just brought for like the first time, like you're really hanging out is like passed out on the couch. I was like, shit, I gotta get out of here. So I was like, Bentley, which is Morgan's dog. I was like, we gotta go take care of Bentley.
You want to be a good.
So but yeah, that's kind of, I guess, how like we became like close because I think that really bonds people. I feel like with girls, anytime like a hookup or like, I mean, honestly, telling sex stories, let's be honest, y'all, like that brings girls closer together. Like whether we want to say it or not, and whether we want to like pretend that's not the truth, like it is.
We
But
have that in us too. We're
yeah,
just
so
smart about it.
yeah, and that's kind of how we met. And then as our friendship kind of developed, I realized that we experienced a lot of the same things when it came to relationships. Now, whether people are like, oh, you're trauma bonded, that's probably not like same, but it's like, I think it is. I hate when people say that because it's like, why is that a bad thing? Like, if we can relate on the same things and we can help each other through things like, fuck you, you didn't live my life and you didn't live her life, so you can't comment on it. Sorry, that's like my soapbox for the day, but I kind of want to just like open it up to you now. I know that there was like the one, obviously, brother, that's something I'm not sure if that was really the relationship that made you who you are, but I kind of want to just like see like what relationship would you say was the one that was like, damn, like this is changing my entire thought process on dating nowadays.
I honestly, I laughed because I knew you were going to ask me that question. And I knew. It isn't really, I don't, the more I thought about it while I was sitting there in my freaking plank hold and solid core dying, um, it's not one guy. I realized it. It's an accumulation of three. And
Mhm.
brother definitely started it because the things that he did and said were truly like clinically insane looking
Yeah.
back. And I'm just like, wait, like, wow, you really just said that out loud and think this,
Yeah.
like, that's wild. Like, he cheated on me and gaslit me to be like, it was my fault and like as if it didn't happen. I'm like, wait, what? No,
Yeah.
like, I broke up with this man because I truly just didn't want to be with him anymore. And he told me no. I'm sorry. I truly didn't know that was up for debate.
Yeah.
Honestly, he's a low life loser. I feel bad he hears that. I really do because he is engaged, but that poor girl deserves better because homeboy's still in my phone. He's now blocked. Yeah, he's now blocked because I feel bad for her, and I come for me. I don't care. It's a girl's girl. I feel bad. Like it would be more damage to tell this girl what's happened versus just removing myself fully.
Oh, absolutely.
A bad sister and sister-in-law because she got the screenshots when she was living with me. I showed her this. Like, I keep in mind I dated this man back in like 2015, 2016. So like years ago.
Yeah.
What, 2024, 2025? Homeboy's engaged and still messaging me saying, I miss you, I love you. No, gross. But
I
that's like
just,
it
yeah,
messes with you because it like you bring back and think of those things. The next relationship that I would say was bad in college, honestly, I if I could pretend that that didn't happen, I will deny it to the day. If someone asks if I dated him, I will be like, ew, no, didn't happen.
I feel you on that. D, but
Um,
continue.
we'll call him Cleat Chaser Boy because
Okay, okay.
Cleat Chaser number one, or I guess Cleat, damn, they were both Cleat Chasers. They were teammates.
It
Um,
happens.
Cleat Chaser one, we'll say, is, oh my God, my dog is sweeping his toy and it's stressing me out. Okay, we're leaving the toy. Cleat Chaser one, we were best friends for years. Truly never thought I was going to date him ever in a million years. He cheats on me with 7 known girls. 7 that I know of. Denies it. I then go through this man's phone. I don't care. Call
Yeah.
me crazy all you want. That man's sleeping in my bed. I roll the heck over him. I go and look at his phone. He's liking bikini pictures on Twitter. Twitter. First of all, what slut is posting bikini pics in her front? I can literally see the picture to this day. Bikini sitting in a lawn chair on her driveway. And I'm like, girl, what are you doing? This is a weird photo in general. He's liking it. So I question him. He's like, what do you like acting like he didn't do it? It's no big deal. Then I go through his call log. He's FaceTiming this girl at 3 a.m.
That's
on the
weird.
night that he's not in mine. I'm like, okay, my college, you could not, like, if you had a guy or a girl in your room, the door had to be open and it was during set hours. I went to a very Baptist college.
Yeah.
There was no typical college sleepovers happening unless you were off campus. I lived off campus. This grown ass man chose to sleep in a dorm with another man over me, his girlfriend. Why? You know, come to find out he's FaceTiming some random girl at 3 a.m. So I call him out on it. Then I get more suspicious as time goes on. I'm airdropping pictures. So I'm not even actively looking for anything at this point. And I'm sitting in the baseball guy's house. They're all playing Mario Kart. Me and my girlfriend are sitting next to each other. I airdrop. I have this man's phone. You know when you airdrop the pictures, like the camera log comes up.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, a picture that comes up is a screenshot of a Snapchat from a girl from our hometown. We're from the same place, so I know all the same people. It's from one of his alleged girlfriends who I'm not allowed to meet. Suspicious.
Weird.
Pardon my French, but the picture literally says, I wish I could ride your dick all night long. I'm sorry. Why are you sending that to my boyfriend? I call his ass out on it. I text him. I'm not going to cause a scene in front of everybody because Everyone doesn't need to be in the business of my
Yeah,
relationship.
no.
So I text him and I go, hey, just saw something. We're going to leave and we're going to go talk about it. Calmly walk out.
Yeah.
Finish this game. We're going to go home and talk about this. We get in the car. I don't even yell at this man. I'm so calm, cool, and collected. Like, this man did not even deserve this grace. And I'm like, because, I'm also like, I'm not going to assume. I'm going to get your side of the story first. I'm asking him questions about it. And he is like, oh, I just thought it was funny. Really? It was funny at 7 a.m.? Well, you were right next to me in bed. I don't remember you laughing. Like, what?
Yeah, no.
So I'm like,
Men are
that's
stupid. Men
so
are
I'm like,
like,
that's
ugh.
weird. And so I was like, okay, fast forward again. I'm in Europe. We've graduated college where I'm in my Europe vacation with my family. This man's Snapchatting me, I love you, because the time difference. He's
Yeah.
out at the bar with his friends. I get a fucking hey girly DM on our
Oh, the hey girly DMs, y'all.
it's my first day of work, my big girl job post college. I'm super excited to start it. It's our anniversary and his birthday. I'm supposed to go to dinner with his dad and him, and I get this hey fucking girly DM on Twitter. Twitter. I do not have a Twitter anymore, by the way.
I don't know.
Never
I
really
never
used
thought there
Twitter.
was
I went and I posted because I was being that little hype girl that I am. I was telling him happy birthday on all forms of social media. Okay, you've
absolutely.
Bentley, and he is killing me with the squeaky toy. Um, it was such a long message. I was scrolling. She did not leave out a single damn detail. It was her birthday. They were in Athens. I feel bad because looking back, I kind of was a bitch to her, and she definitely didn't deserve that. But at the same time, she tried to make me the bad guy in it too, and I was like, no. So she sends me this long message basically of like what happened, tells me every detail. I then keep in mind I'm in training at work, trying to keep my shit together and not because I've
Oh my God, that's what we did to what's her name? I'm thinking about this now. This is like full circle. When we called.
yeah,
Yeah.
no, literally. So I'm
Oh
sitting
my
here trying
God.
to keep my shit together, and I'm like, okay, that was different. Her job was like, meh. I'm in corporate America. Like, my boss is the person who was my speech pathologist when I was in middle school. I taught her kid how to swim. Like, there's too much. I was like, there's too many people here that I know. I'm like, I can't cry. Like, this is, I don't, if
Yeah,
you know me,
absolutely.
and you know me, if I'm crying in public, it's bad. Like, something
Yes.
is something
Yes.
something bad. And so I'm like, oh my God. So I go to my lunch break. I text this man, and I was like, I asked no questions. I asked no questions. I go, did you cheat on me? Did you cheat on me? That's all I say. That's all I say. And he goes, sigh. Just goes, yes. Sigh. And I was like, yes. Okay. And I was like, I can work with this. You're not lying. I can work with this. You're not lying. You're not lying. You either know that I know, or you two are in cahoots, or you two are in story right now. Formulating your story right now. But like whatever. Something is this man drives, and if you know Atlanta traffic, this man drove an hour and a half. This man drove to my hour and a half to speak to me in person before dinner. To speak to me in person. Rich that he thought we were still going to dinner. Rich that he thought we were still going to dinner. Delusional. So we talk about it. We're chatting and whatever, and I'm like, just so we talk about it. We're chatting. So this is the man who tells me all the time. So this is the man who tells me all the time, no matter how drunk he is, it doesn't matter where he sleeps, as long as he has a blanket and a pillow, or one of the other. He did not go back to his brother's apartment. He stayed at the house with these girls. He did not go back to his brother's apartment. He didn't think the party was over. He stayed at the house with these girls were at. It's 3 a.m. Because he didn't think the party was over. The party's over. The bars are
Nothing
closed.
good is happening at 3
Yeah,
a.m.
like go to bed. The party's over. You have a girlfriend, you're Snapchatting me, I love you. Like go to bed. Like you have a girlfriend, you're Snapchatting me, I love you. I'm finding these flaws in his story because I'm like, this just does not. I'm finding these flaws in his story because I'm like, this just does not. All of our college friends, because I put this man on blast on the internet. I didn't care. All of our college friends, because I put this man on blast on the internet. I didn't care. I was uploading screenshots. I was like the whole.
Yeah, you were pissed, rightfully so.
Right. And so this man's gaslighting me the whole time. He's like, no, nothing happened. This is where I don't know how PG we have to be, but sorry.
No, you can do whatever. We can
This man tells me there's two men on the sofa, so he went and crawled in bed with this girl. No, keep in mind, this girl has already told me that basically the whole duration of our relationship, he has been in her DMs, Snapchatting her, texting her, I love you, when are you going to give me a chance? Our whole relationship. So now I'm like, okay, so you're drunk and you're in this bed with this girl, but you don't have sex. But you went down on her. I would have rather you fucked the bitch. Like,
Yeah, as a
going down
female,
on her is so much more intimate.
like
I would
we pause this story for a second.
even get
I
his dick.
definitely agree with you. Like I'm a big person where it's like that to me is just like so much more like you
So
said
much more.
intimate. It's more like I have to be prepared for that. Like I can't like I have to be ready. I have to be
You know what?
showered, like freshly showered. Like don't catch me coming home from the bar and being like, let's do this. Like, but
It's also
that's crazy.
he didn't even get his dick sucked either. So I'm like, you cheated on me and didn't even get anything out of it.
Yeah, like you made that choice, and I think that's a
Yeah,
good like okay, so as she said she's a little she's delusional and I yeah, Morgan knows that I call her Delulu girl. She lives in Delulu world. She loves it
I do.
there and like I
I'm the
support
CEO
her.
and founder of it, and
Yeah.
I accept that.
I think it's like the perfect story to be like don't do wifey shit for a fuck boy, y'all. Do not do wifey shit for a fuck boy because they're going to push your limits and they're
And
going to
I
keep pushing them.
and I think in that moment when I found out that that's what happened, that was the moment that I was like, oh, wait a minute. No, I'm not gonna let any man do that to me. Like I'm very selective of who can do that. So out there, if you're listening and you've gone down on me at any point in time, pat yourself on the back because it means I trusted you to some degree, and I don't trust people. So
Yeah, that's
all that
wow.
happens, and then I we break up. Like actually, not even. I actually forgive this man. I am embarrassed to admit I actually did not break up with him. I stayed with him. I stayed with this man. We continue dating, whatever. We're hanging out, and I think it was in this moment we were walking out of a that World Market store, and
Yeah.
he's walking in front of me, and I'm like, why are you walking ahead of me? Like, ew, that's already an ick to me. Secondly, I'm looking at him up and down. I'm like, ugh, I'm so disgusted. Like, I'm not gonna marry you. I was like, I don't even like you. Like, why am I dating you? Like, I am dating you for
Yeah.
at this point. Like, I truly just don't want to lose the friendship. I'm like, but what friendship? Like, you've not been nice to me. So I now have this man's location. The only thing he's like, what do you need from me? I asked for his location and I told him if he was going to be drinking, he could not be drinking with anybody. If girls were going to be there, I had to be there too. I
That is
didn't trust
crazy
him.
that you had to like set that rule for
What's
someone.
crazy is the fact that I even stayed to and made those rules. Like I should
Yeah.
have just said, "We'll see ya."
You know
But
what? But what's crazy is like I think when you're in a situation like that, you don't realize how insane
you
or
don't.
like traumatic it is until you
But
step away from
and I
it.
have been his best friend for at this point 6 years. So like there was
Yeah.
so much rich history, and it was only a year and a half of or a year of dating, like not even. But
Yeah.
then what was really kind of my breaking point with him when we broke up, I really just truly like I was really sad, hurt by it. But I don't think it was because of him. It was the situation as a whole where I was realizing like what all had happened. We're in Waffle House. The same girl that he'd been FaceTiming and liking these bikini pictures is at this party. She comes up to me. I'm keep in mind, I'm playing beer pong. I'm minding my own business with his boys, like hanging out, doing my own thing. I don't care. This girl comes up to me and goes, "Hi, I'm so and so. So and so told me to come over and introduce you. He said you wanted to meet me. I beg your finest fucking pardon. I don't give a shit who you are.
Yeah.
Secondly, her tone was the most condescending, like I know something you don't know tone. Like, if you know, you know. And I
Yeah.
was like, ooh, I don't like you. Like you're not nice. And I was just kind of like, hi, like, okay. Keep in mind, I was then being the nice person I am. I like messaged her later. I was like, heck, it was nice to finally meet you and put a face to the name. Like, if you ever need somewhere to stay, like, let me know. Cause they lived all the way up in Timbuktu too, and I lived closer to all the bars. So I was
Yeah.
like, y'all are welcome to pregame, stay at my place, whatever, anytime I don't care. We're at Waffle House. Come to find out, again, I get suspicious that this man's doing some shady shit. He goes to work and his dumbass leaves me at his house by himself. I know his passwords. I log into that motherfucker's laptop, and Apple's got all this shit synced. I then find 7 other girls he's cheated on me with over the duration of our relationship. All I'm gonna say is if you're texting a girl, the alert emoji in the follow text, the text above it from her, the girl is saying, "Dang, you could have warned me." And so now he's forever sending like warning signs to look at your Snapchat. I'm just gonna assume you're sending nudes.
Oh,
Like you're sending,
absolutely.
you're
When
sending.
you're texting a man and you're okay, I call it okay, so you know there's like sexting. I call it snacking. When you are snacking on Snapchat,
Oh
you
God.
best believe and you're texting that man, you're saying, "Hey, don't open up that snack in front of your boys." Like I
But not even that.
no.
This girl's in class. Like he's snatching people in class. He's talking. We're dating, and he's like, "Oh,
That's
I'm in Kentucky for the weekend. Like, let's link up." Keep in mind, he would never let me go to the bars with his boys up in Lexington because for it was guys' night. Oh, I bet it was guys' night.
Mm-mm.
He's flirting with girls up there. So I'm catching
You be
all of this.
snacking away,
I'm
snacking
just
on that
not figuring
snack.
out all of this shit. At this point, I'm so done. I don't even care. I call his ass out. He goes, "Why are you going through my stuff? Wow, you really broke my trust." I'm sorry, I broke your trust. I shouldn't have to be going through your crap to figure out what's happening.
The
And
trust, I feel like the trust was broken a
long ago.
year or two ago, like years ago.
Literally.
And like you were just trying to like build it back up. But like I hear you. And I
So,
think
oh, it
the
was just so
point of that was like girls don't want to go through your phone. Like
no. He's the
I
only person
never
I've
went
ever
through
done.
my ex-husband's phone.
He's
Ever.
the only guy to this day.
Never.
Yeah, and to
But
this only
he
boy.
cheated on me still, you know? So it's like I guys, we
It's
don't
messed
want to
you
go through
up.
your phone. We don't want
And
to go through your phone, but when something's suspicious, and also here's a little tidbit. You guys are okay, Deb. I don't know if we're gonna get to the C story. I think that deserves an episode of its
it's
own. So I
cold.
want to kind of continue with this, but I think like for me, I can find you. I can find out if you're lying. Like girls are FBI agents. If you telling a girl to, oh, I'm not on dating apps anymore, we could figure out if you're on dating apps
Even
still.
if you're like, for me, I'm not gonna even pretend that I'm the FBI. I am not the FBI friend, but all of my friends are. I'm very much that. I like to call it the B plus friend because I'm not type A, but I'm not really type B. I'm that in the middle girl, and I will tell my friends the story, and like I could tell you the most traumatic story, and I'm like, haha, and they're like,
Yeah.
I'm like, what? It's like y'all go find things out for me, and then y'all present the evidence to me, and I'm like, ooh, that's
Yeah.
bad.
I feel you. Hold on. Did you finally leave him at this point? Like, was that the tipping point? The Waffle House.
Irony of it is this man is talking shit to this girl about me, basically saying that I'm a yapper. Yeah, no shit. If you know me, I'm a yapper. That's why I'm in sales. Like, I'm a yapper.
Yeah.
But he's like basically belittling me to this girl and validating this other girl. And I'm like, why are you talking shit about me? Like, and then you're sending news to these other people. I was like, oh my God. I call him out on it. He gets mad. He breaks up with me. And I'm like, what? Keep in mind, we're supposed to go to a wedding at this point together. I still go to this wedding. And I'm like, sitting there sad, girl. Because I'm like, why am I here? Like, I don't like this man. He's been cheating on me. I'm like, looking back,
Yeah.
I'm like, you are a real dumb bitch.
I
Well,
don't think,
I never thought I was going to get a text though. This man actually texted me at this point a year ago. At this point, I think it was a year ago. I saw this man's name pop up on my phone. I'm sitting on the sofa with a bunch of my guy friends, and I'm sitting like I was shell shocked, and they were like, "What? You look like you've just seen a ghost." And I go, "Well, I have." Like this text message was so long, it went to a note section. This man had
yeah.
6 years have gone by, and this man sent me an apology text. I was like, "Wow, I never thought I'd get that." I was like, "I hope that makes you feel better, whatever 10 step of recovery you're in." Because fast forward, I found out he was dating this girl, cheats on her the exact same way he cheated on me.
They
I was
never
a
learn.
forbidden topic in that relationship. I won't go into details with it because that's not my story to tell, it's hers. But she reaches out to me. I have all the receipts on my phone still from what this man did to me. I sent her everything. Said nothing. I just
Yeah.
sent it to her.
I think I remember that
And
moment.
she breaks up with him. He tries to come at me, basically saying I broke them up. And I was like, no, your actions did. So when I got this apology text, he was like, I basically was like, I hope this makes you feel better. Like, I hope you get
Yeah.
out of this, whatever. And he's like, oh, it was for you. And I was like, boy, I haven't thought about you in 6 years. Like,
Yeah, I think I remember that whole
I've
story.
had another traumatic experience since you. Like, we're good.
I think though, for you, You know, it's weird. Like a lot of girls will like look back on it and be like, I was stupid and I was dumb. But I think like we should all give each other some grace in that moment because I think when it comes to any traumatic experience, like when you're in it and you're living it, you don't even realize that you're in it, right? Like you're
I
you're you're experiencing it, you're going through it, you're processing the emotions, you love this person so much and like you've built so much with them that it's hard to like take a step back. And what people don't realize is like a lot of times even like a day after, 2 days after, you're not realizing how traumatic it is. It could be a year or two after something triggers you and you're like, holy shit, why am I so triggered? And then it brings you back to that traumatic experience.
that's me with C right now. I
Yeah.
don't even think I know what he did to me was traumatic and bad, but I don't really realize it until other guys do things and I'm like sobbing and I'm like shaking because
Yeah.
pre PTSD and I'm like, wait, oh, that's
And I
why.
and we'll get to see in our next episode because obviously we're definitely going to bring you back. You have a lot to bring to the table and to discuss and to help people, but like I kind of want to just wrap it up with this,
Yeah,
like men. I don't, and I'm not saying all men, but the men I've at least talked to,
there
when
are
I
good.
say like, hey, owning up to something, right? So like I was talking to a new guy and I was like, listen, I'm sorry that I reacted that way. I was triggered by something you did, whether you meant it that way or not. That's on me because like it was triggering to me. And
Yeah,
people, I hate when men say this to me though. Well, like you got to stop listening to what people say, or you got to think of it. It's like you
you're
don't get it. Like no matter how much time has passed, no matter how many, like you can
still
work through it. And I've been going to therapy. I've been doing the work.
we
But
love
that it's like, yeah, and it's like if you get the shit beat out of you at a bar and you go back to a bar, you're still gonna have PTSD. Like that's what PTSD is. It doesn't just go away. You can work through it and you can work on it and it can get better, but there's always going to be certain things that trigger you. So I think we all need to give each other a little bit of grace, especially nowadays. Like dating's not easy. Dating is really fucking hard and life is hard and people, I will never ever be like your traumatic shit is less than my traumatic shit because at the end of the day, we all experience things different.
yeah. Well,
And
it's too
yeah,
like there are like we know like there are crazy girls out there too. Like men
yeah.
definitely have to do it too. Like we're not sitting here saying it's just the men either. It usually is, but because
I mean,
we
if a man wants to come on here and tell me otherwise, like
tell
I'm
us
waiting for a male guest. Like, come to me, baby. Like, talk to me about it. Like, I will listen and like I will support you because again,
we
we've
did.
all been through it. We've all had shitty exes. I think men also like they all have that one girl that fucked them up. Like, you know, like that one girl that they dated in high school for like 4 years that like ruined their life and like, oh my God, I can never get married. Like, shut the fuck up. Like,
Or like C with me where I just like was like F this, I'm out, and you just walk away, you're the one that got away.
yeah.
Everyone knows it.
Well, speaking on that, so we are definitely, this is going to be a two-part episode. So we're going to come back with Morgan next week, where we are going to talk about C, which was, it's going to get deep. It's going to get a little dark. So if that's not
Trigger
something,
warning.
yeah, like we're probably going to cry a little bit together, but I think it's going to be great for y'all to hear her story and hear how she pushed through it and what signs to look for. I think like that's a huge thing too, is like, look for these red flags. We're not telling these stories to hate on people. We're really telling these stories to like heal and push
Healing,
through.
learning, because I mean, even then, like one of my really good friends, I will definitely not say names, but if you know, you know, is going through a situation right now where I see all the warning signs, I see the things, and
Mhm.
I introduce them. Like I actually feel bad, but I see things and I'm like, hey, but like you do you. You can only do so
Yeah.
much, but you
Well,
learn a lot.
thank you. Thank you so much for coming on. We will see you next week again. I'm not I don't want to say I'm excited to hear the next part of the story, but I
I
am
know it.
excited to hear it for everybody else so that they can kind of relate to it and be like, I'm going through this too. Like, how can I get help? So with that being said, thank you guys all so much for joining. Shout out to the Exes. Hit that like button and subscribe. If you would like to be a guest, again, man and women are allowed on the show. It is not just women bashing men. If a man wants to come on, bring him on over. But thank you guys again so much for joining. I am Heather, and we will see you next week. Bye.